Hi guys, we're live, meaning I'm live. Here I am with my Tampa Bay Rays original cap. This is the 1998 cap. When they first came out as a team, you mean they came out? Yeah, as a team. I didn't stand the logo. I didn't like it. I was like, why they got all these colors? Gold down to dark green. And then I realized later, because of my ignorance, I was like, oh, I see what it's supposed to be. It's a ray, stingray, in the water, and the light shining through the water. Like the sunlight is shining through the water, and it would be light and then darker as you got deeper in the water. So then I started to like it. I said, they were creative. They knew what they were doing, and I was ignorant. I am going to upload a solo review of Liberty Creek Cabernet Sauvignon, California, on my regular channel. This is the alternative channel, mostly the hidden channel, anti-war. Cabernet Sauvignon. And then, of course, some people pronounce it Cabernet Sauvignon. Sauvignon. All right, Cab Sav. Well, I bought this 1.5 liter bottle for $6.92 plus tax at Walmart. This day and age, that is a good price. The heat here is so hot. You say, boy, you're intelligent. You said the heat was hot. Right. Oh, it's crazy. It's going to be 98 degrees today, maybe worse. It's killing my air conditioner. How can I make it? Well, I was thinking about this morning. How do people make it when they didn't have air conditioning, when they didn't have electricity? My grandmother grew up, and she was born, well, I have two grandmothers, like everybody else. And one was born in 1927. So by the time she was growing up, I don't know what their situation was. My other grandmother in Baton Rouge, they did not have air conditioning. So they'd be out in this Louisiana heat. I'm sure they would just cover with sweating. She said, but we didn't really feel the heat. Well, you know, children, they never get hot. You know, they never feel heat. Even they look like they're about to pass out. They just don't. And they don't get cold, you know. But if you don't have it, you don't think about it. They didn't have air conditioning, so they didn't think about it. So, but they had an article in the newspaper years ago about people in New Orleans that do not have air conditioning in their house. They just had fans, and they were like, how do you survive? And they were saying, oh, we get used to it, you know. They were saying, we just have all the windows open, cross ventilation, wear just shorts, no shirt, whatever, drink a lot of liquid. They said after a while, you don't think about it. And we save a lot of money. I'm thinking, yeah, they do. I have done it myself when we had hurricanes that knocked the electricity out for a week. But you don't really sleep that well. You wake up the whole night, you be sweating. We're so used to being pampered, you see. All right, so this is ruby red with the light shining through it. But with the light shining on it, look at it. That's dark. That's almost like black. Black grapes, black cherries. You can see a little red, but that's nice looking, huh? Oh, man. They had a bad earthquake in California last night, 2 days in a row. Is this just the beginning? I have to look at that later. There was a flash mob theft at a clothing store. They all were on video. Saying it's funny how the media chooses to frame stories a certain way. If you look at the videos of this flash mob, you'll understand. Yahoo and them say some people did it, you know, but other stories they will say this, you know, adjective man hurt this other adjective man. I say, boy, they're so selective with their social justice, you know. And I was looking at that flash mob, and I was saying, they loves to steal, you know, and they just loves to steal. But I always prefer a much more robust police response. And you say, you're not pro-government, you're anti-government. That is untrue, actually. I believe in the proper role of government, which is to protect your life and property. So they're attacking people's property and stealing. So I always supported a very robust, so to speak, government response. And I always tell people I have a ruthless regard for violent criminals. So the ideas I have are probably in line with yours, but they'll be much different than what you typically see. Put it to you like that. It says people love our Cabernet Sauvignon for the simple reason that there's so much to love. I'm agreeing with that. The color all by itself is impressive. Deep, rich, red, purple hues. Yes, yes, yes. You can expect subtle, delicious cherry flavors. Cherry. I don't know. To me, it tastes like grapes, but with a hint of plum and spice. The people that taste this for the company that write this stuff might be much more expert, have much more expertise than myself. Because to me, it's just like thick, velvety mouthfeel, you know, a heavy, velvety mouthfeel, pretty dry finish, and heavy, savory, sort of like strong grape flavor. I don't really like Cabernet Sauvignon because it's too meaty and chewy, but I mean, I do like it. I just don't like it as much as other ones. For the more adventurous, try our cab with smoked pork chops or a savory leg of lamb. Lamb. Ugh. This lady I go see sometimes, she cooks lamb, that gray meat. And I'm like, ugh. She'll say, I fix lamb. I'm not going to tell her, oh, that's horrible. I'll just say, oh, okay. Whoa. Now, the asparagus, I will like, you know, and the salad and all, but the lamb, I'll eat it, but I don't enjoy it, you know. I know I'm not Greek, I'm not Hebrew, I'm not Lebanese. If I was Greek or Hebrew or Lebanese or Syrian, I'd probably love it, you know. Palestinian, you know what I'm saying? But no, I mean, but I'm not, and I don't like it. Ribeye porterhouse, New York strip, yeah. That's more me. That's more me. You be you, and I'll be me. John Anilli says, good morning, Ron. Good morning to you, John Anilli. It's good afternoon to you, though, in your Eastern time zone. I put this tarp, I'm looking at it right there. I nailed this tarp to the fence, the two fences, and an angle to put shade on that air conditioning unit in the heat of the evening. They put it in the wrong spot. I think they don't think about these things when they put these units in. They're not thinking, wow, it's going to be setting out there in the direct sunlight for 3 full hours. And yesterday was like on 98 degrees. But that's sheet metal, you know, sheet metal over a unit. And you know, in that sun, it was probably like 128 degrees. But it just can't take it. That's an old unit from 1991. It should be replaced, but it still cools. I mean, it'll come out cool. It's not as it says Ream high efficiency. Well, now in 2019, it's not high efficiency. And people will say, if you bought a new unit, you would save $40 a month. And all you got to do is pay $6,000 to get it. And look how much money you're going to save. So 40, like $6,000 divided by 40 a month. In 150 months, I'm paid back, you know, so only 12 and a half years and you get your money back. That's kind of like people fall for those things. I mean, obviously I'm going to have to get a new one. Okay, fine. But like they'll say, if you get all new windows in your home, you live in an old home from 1963. If you got all new windows, double pane and all that, by golly, you would save, you know, like I'm saying, $50 a month, but it probably wouldn't be that much. And you only pay $18,000 to get this new installation. Yeah, well, okay, so you're 40 years old. So by the time you're like 75, you've got your money back. And people never think along those lines. They just do it, you know. Like, don't retire. Don't start getting Social Security at age 62. Wait till age 67. 5 years because you get way more money per month. You know, and then in 14 years, you'll make back the difference that what you would have gotten when you would have been getting paid every month for 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Now you're 62 years old. So now you're assuming, you're just saying, well, of course I'm going to live to be 100. No, you might live to be 63. So you didn't get any money for a year. You know, people don't balance these things out, you know, and this is not a preaching video, but it's like the Washington Nationals say, we're going to put the starting pitcher, Steven Strasburg, on the bench because he's kind of hurt. So we're not going to win the World Series this year without him, but we'll help him to get rehabilitated so that we can win the World Series in 5 years. And we're not going to win it now, our best opportunity, but we'll have a way better opportunity in 5 years. Oh, okay. But now here we are 5 years later. Are they doing better? Still the same, slightly above average. So I'm not going to buy this beer now. I'm going to come back later when I got more money. And you go back later. You know that beer ain't going to be on the shelf. You know that beer ain't going to be on the shelf. And I'm not saying people shouldn't be efficient and buy high efficiency things. But I'm talking about replacements. If you have a brand new house that was built in 2018, well, yeah, more than likely you're going to have the most high efficiency items. All right. But if you live in a house that was built in 1951, like this one, it's pretty obvious you're not going to have the most high efficiency items. It's going to be low tech, low efficiency, right? But there's the trade-off is that the cost of the house was so extraordinarily lower than a modern one that it would take 2 lifetimes to make up the difference. So you say, well, all you got to do is live for 200 years. I mean, would I like a more modern house than this? Well, yeah. Would I like a bigger house than this? No. If I was married and had kids, now if I get married one day and have more children, yeah, okay, fine. I want a bigger house. Well, I'm not married and I don't have much. My child is grown. So it's all about what you want to do. Okay, you say, I thought this was a wine video. It is a wine video. What do people do when they drink wine? They talk about all these things. You say, not me. I'm straight-laced. I do videos. It's just this. Next, robotic. This. Cha-ching. Next. This. Cha-ching. Next. You say, well, that would get a little redundant, a little boring. In theory, it would. I watch videos all the time and I never get bored of them, but I understand a lot of people do. They'll say, hey guys, I just giving you a channel update just to let you know I'm not going to do beer reviews anymore. I'm tired of talking about the flavors. It's so the same all the time. And I'm thinking to myself, well, what'd you think it was going to be? Didn't you know the dirty little secret about beer? They all taste the same. I mean, you thought it was all this. Whoa! When it was really all this with some differences along those lines. But the real reason is probably you thought you were going to be a superstar on YouTube and you found out you weren't, so you quit. All right. Johnny Newley says, right, excellent points. Get it while you can. Social Security, baseball. It doesn't matter. You might not be around tomorrow. Enjoy it anyway. Yeah, right. And avoid debt. That guy on the radio that comes on, like I wake up at like 2:45 in the morning. He's on. Dave Ramsey. He's talking about get out of debt, get out of debt. And he's like rude to people, I find. He's arrogant. He's just arrogant. He irritates me. He's like, well, listen, dumb. You know, that's like his attitude. Listen here, dumb. You need to be smart like me. Well, they're not smart like you. That's why they're calling the show, okay? They want advice, not condescending ugliness. But nonetheless, his points are valid. Like he's telling people, you need to avoid debt, man. I know so many people that are under crushing debt. And it's like, why would you want to do that? Like this guy I work with, he's like going around preaching, well, people shouldn't judge me because I bought a brand new truck. I said, I don't care if you bought a brand new truck, even though you had a 2-year-old truck. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make any difference to me. It wasn't my money. He said, but then somebody told me, his note is $600 a month. I said, $600 a month. Good thing he didn't mention that to me, because I might have told him something like, oh man, you don't have good sense. Like, I might have been like Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey can be a jerk, but he's a smart guy, says Johnny Neely. Yeah, right. He's smart. This wine is really good. I'm not drinking too much. Looking at some cool dude gave me these glasses, 4 of them. I broke 2. If y'all know what, now Gabe, y'all know Gabe, who used to come on our Hangouts, but for some reason stopped. He sent me a message yesterday saying, hey, why did Flacco block me? I said, I don't know anything about this. Yeah, he blocked me on Facebook. What's going on? I said, well, I don't know anything about this. I said, did you say something inappropriate to him? Because that's what I'm thinking. No, I did not. Or did you take strange photos of him off the internet and then send him the photos unsolicited? I didn't tell him that, but I'm thinking, there's probably a reason. He didn't just wake up one morning and was bored and said, oh, here I am in Texas, Flacco's Beer Reviews. I have nothing to do. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to block Gabe for no particular reason. Something's telling me that did not happen. And that there's more to the story. But I don't really want to bother. How do you talk? I don't really want to bother Flacco about it. But I'm thinking, I don't know. I bet there's something more to it. But I'll see what I can find out. I'm not going to go bothering Flacco. Hey, Flacco, why'd you block this guy? Because then he might get irritated with me. Now, I'm not worried about that. People, you got to be able to talk to people. But I'm thinking something's more. There's something more to this. But I'm going to find out. I'm going to find out, Gabe. And I have a feeling that it's a little more to it. Anyway, I know one thing. I'm not going to worry about it. It's a little meaty. It's a little chewy, but it's not severely so. It's not a severely meaty or chewy object. I wouldn't want, you saw how much I drank, I would never drink more than that in a day. I've had it. I enjoyed it. Hey, that's that. Now, I have a whole olive green glass. I like that color. I have a lot left. It'll take me, if I finish this bottle before August 1st, I'll be shocked. I really will be. Because I don't drink a lot of wine. I drink a little bit. I did Windsor Canadian. It might be 2 weeks before I upload it. But boy, I did the Windsor Canadian. I've been having that bottle for 3 years. A Windsor Canadian blended Canadian whiskey. I got it for $10.99 at Winn-Dixie. It's actually cheaper to buy the handle bottle. But I tried it and I was like, yeah, this is pretty good. And it's just like all the rest. I'll tell you one thing about Canadian whiskey. They are so common. They have such commonality. And John and Nile, who's may still be watching. I see 2 people are watching. We were talking about how we couldn't figure out what is this weird almond extract flavor. But now, once you realize it, you'll never forget it. It's the dang white rum. It's got to be. They got to be using white rum to flavor the Windsor Canadian. It's from Brown. No, I was confused when I made the video. You'll see when you watch it. It's from Beam Suntory. It's hard to keep up with these things. So that their flagship is Canadian Club. They don't even show the Windsor Canadian on their website anymore. They used to have a little web page for it. It's kind of interesting. But they did like Sazerac and all the rest. They dropped all their non-flagship brands and just relegated them to the memory hole, so to speak. It's like they produce them, but they don't really necessarily want you to know they produce them. And they would prefer if you just, or they don't mind if you buy it. but they want to direct you to a Canadian club. But the Windsor, I said, oh, I'm thinking, you know, what is the white rum they're using in this? It's got to be. And then maybe they have a little bourbon, like some Jim Beam, you know, some young Jim Beam bourbon in it, because they can flavor Canadian whiskey with bourbon. Let's see here. www.beam. Here we go. Beam Suntory. Their website is nice, but it's sad compared to what it used to be. And apparently it used to be even bigger than that before I joined, you know, the whiskey culture. They used to talk about Beam's 8-star and everything. But no more. Cruzan. Oh, yeah. Oh, how much have I heard about Cruzan in my life? A lot. And then there's a brand website. People ask me, when are you going to review Cruzan? That's the best rum and it's from the Virgin Islands. I said, well, I mean, I'll get to it. Yeah, right. So they're probably taking white Cruzan or one of their cheaper rums, because you know they have some cheaper rums that they don't even want to talk about. And they're using it to flavor that Canadian whiskey. You know that. And then John Neely says, almond extract. Yeah, I figured. Yeah, right. So anyway, I'm going to eat lunch. I have some leftover food from the Knights of Columbus. Oh, yeah, and it's good, too. Jambalaya and all kind of good stuff. I'm hungry. Heck, I'm going to eat. Let's see. What's going on later today? Not much. I might watch some baseball at 2 o'clock Eastern time. The Rangers. Then at 7 o'clock Eastern, I think Fox is going to feed the Cubs and White Sox to our area, because we're in Central Time, and I think that's what we'll get. But I really don't know. They don't ever tell you until it comes on. And then at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock Eastern, they have a West Coast game, and I won't be watching that on Fox Sports 1. Hopefully, I'll be asleep. So, as we sum up, 2 things: find out why Flacco blocked Gabe on the internet. And secondly, if you want to try Liberty Creek's Cabernet Sauvignon, I would highly recommend it. And it's so cheap, $6.92. Oh, wow, man. Ernest and Julio Gallo. That's a great company. I'm going to end this stream. It says end stream. Yes. Are you sure you want to end your stream? Yes, end.